Brazilian President Jair Bolsonaro announced that the federal government of Brazil will allow the vaccination of kids between 5 and 11 years old only with their parents' permission and medical prescription. It is important to take into consideration the fact that these latest comments from the right-wing leader of Brazil came a couple of days after the Brazilian Senate opened an investigation against him, following some astonishing remarks where he essentially suggests there was some type of connection between the COVID vaccine and AIDS. Of course, this was nothing more than another case where the Brazilian president was spreading not only misinformation, but also the most blatant conspiracy theory regarding the COVID vaccines. I mean, we're talking about a common practice among these anti-vaxxers that have been spreading all types of lies, not only on the internet, but only on social media and also publicly about the COVID pandemic and specifically about the vaccines and the way that many governments all around the world are basically asking their citizens to take the vaccine in order to contain the spread of the COVID pandemic. So, I mean, these latest comments about Jair Bolsonaro basically announcing that the federal government will allow this vaccination of these underage kids weren't exactly controversy-free. After all, he also said during this public declaration that despite the fact that he and his government is allowing the vaccination of kids between 5 and 11 years old, he also explained that his 11 years old daughter won't get vaccinated, that he refused to essentially vaccinate her daughter against the COVID pandemic. So, getting to this point, it is important to remember that President Jair Bolsonaro's relationship with COVID has been essentially a pretty wild roller coaster, because we need to remember that on the one hand, he supported President Donald Trump in this massive vaccination process when the Republican was the president of the United States. And we need to remember that President Bolsonaro actually got infected of COVID. And this other episode that was quite controversial was the fact that he recently claimed he simply won't get vaccinated. He said he refused to get the COVID vaccine. And of course, I mean, we can't blame him. I mean, it makes perfectly sense for a person who spread conspiracy theories about the vaccines. I mean, it is quite logic that he doesn't want to get vaccinated even when he already got the COVID. So, like many countries, the Brazilian society is currently deeply divided on the vaccination issue. And of course, unfortunately, this division is caused by President Jair Bolsonaro's polarization in every single manner, in every single topic, but especially on this one, especially on the one related to the COVID pandemic and of course the vaccination. As you can imagine, there is a pretty significant part of the Brazilian society that strongly supports President Jair Bolsonaro and therefore they are against the vaccination. And on the other hand, we have a pretty significant faction of the Brazilian society who is completely opposed to President Bolsonaro, and specifically because of this, they are in favor of the massive vaccinations. Reporting from Medellin, Colombia, Luis Orozco, Newsweek.